Hi, I'm Samantha Heil, Executive Director of Book Fair at Bel Air, and I'd love to invite you to one of the biggest bookish events in the region. Join us on Saturday, August 8th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at APG FCU Arena at Hartford Community College for a free, family-friendly event celebrating books, readers, and community. Book Fair at Bel Air features more than 110 authors and vendors, best-selling featured authors, kids' activities, face painting, story time, arts and crafts, photo ops, and plenty of fun for readers of all ages. Whether you're a lifelong reader, raising future bookworms, or just looking for a unique day out with the family, there's something for everyone at Book Fair at Bel Air. Learn more at www.bookfairatbelair.org or follow us on Instagram at Book Fair at Bel Air. We hope to see you there this August.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Hartford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch affairs.
I never played softball. It's probably the least sexy part of organizing. That's okay. No. The truth is,
What do you do when you spent years searching for answers, but nobody seems to be explaining things in a way that makes sense? For today's guest, that question led to a journey she never expected. For more than 2 decades, Cassian Bellino wanted to understand the Bible on a deeper level. But instead of finding clarity, she often found confusion. She wasn't a theologian. She wasn't planning to start a podcast, and she certainly wasn't trying to build a platform followed by more than 100,000 people. She was simply looking for answers. What happened next is a story about faith, persistence, and saying yes when God places something on your heart. And rather than waiting for someone else to create the resource she wished existed, Cassian stepped forward and built it herself. That decision led to hundreds of conversations with respected biblical scholars and so many other experts, and ultimately became Biblically Speaking, a podcast dedicated to helping people understand Scripture in a way that's clear, approachable, and meaningful. Cassian, I am happy to have you on here because I have a funny feeling you're going to be able to answer a lot of things. I've had so many people on talking about God and the Bible and everything. And I know you can answer a lot of things, but are you okay? Are you okay?
That was like a movie intro.
Oh,
I was in it. I was like, "What's going on?"
I thought you were still sitting there crying.
I might. We have to move on, Rich. I'm going to keep crying.
All right. For those of you listening, Cass didn't realize how good her podcast was doing.
I didn't know.
And when I told her about a couple sites to look at, she's like, "What? No way. No." So
apparently people are listening.
And apparently, God told you to do it. And look, he's making things happen.
Yeah, he truly is, which is so funny because one of the reasons I didn't start this podcast for 6 months, God put it on my heart for 5 years. Then he's like, now it's time. And then I sat on it because I was like, God, you got the wrong girl for all these reasons. But the thing that broke me to do it was I was like, what if no one listens? And then that's embarrassing that I am public and on social media and I'm online with this content and then no one's listening. How humiliating. And this girl that I was talking to was so smart. She was like, well, if no one's listening, then no one heard it. So they don't even know about it. And I was like, oh, you're right. Yeah. If no one's listening, then it doesn't matter. She's like, I don't think God wants you to start a podcast. I think he just wants to hang out with you. I think he wants you to get to know him. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that. And then that's what really I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then what also happened as a pastor was you're being disobedient by not doing the podcast. You sat on this for too long. And I was like, I thought I had a choice. And he's like, I don't think you have a choice anymore. And so then we did it.
All right. So first of all, I gotta argue with you here a minute. Did you listen to it after you recorded?
My podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
All right. Then you had somebody listening.
One listen.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. I'm going to ask you point blank, after you were recording, did you learn something from what you recorded?
I
about the scripture and all?
1,000%. Because when you're hosting, you're thinking about a million other things.
Right.
Timing, question, cadence, intonation. Like, are you reacting appropriately? People tell me things on podcasts, and I'm like, I am genuinely speechless, but I have a show. The seconds are ticking by, and I'm like, we will come back to that later. Like, you just have to keep going in the show, but you're like genuinely mind blown. And so you have to listen back. You have to go back and say, wow, that was crazy. Because all I was just reacting in the show.
And you learned.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And obviously, if you're in the top 5% globally,
Insane.
people are listening.
Insane. I know. I think it's 190 countries, actually. I think that's what Spotify.
Really? Oh, yeah. Because it's not explicit.
What's that mean?
Okay. I love this. I feel like I'm a teacher in class. So some countries,
I like oysters. I'm just here for vibes.
So some countries, if a podcast is marked explicit, in other words, foul language, some countries will not carry it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my podcast is marked explicit because, as you saw before we started recording, I talk to people in recovery. I talk to all types of different people. And I just marked the whole podcast as explicit. So it's only in 140 countries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you marked it explicit, because I've talked about like demons and possession and giants.
That's not foul language, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's explicit is the foul language.
Okay.
So,
wow,
yeah,
that's
but
so cool.
that's awesome. 190. You must be using Buzzsprout for your hosting service, aren't you?
No, I use Anchor. I use Spotify for creators.
And that shows you how many countries?
It's not the best. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it does what it needs to do. It's enough stats. And it tells me where all my RSS feed is, and then also just Spotify. But I mean, the websites you just showed me are amazing because it puts all the reviews in one place.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's only 2 of them. You'd be surprised at how many different websites there are that I use for my podcast.
I need all of them. I need to know my rankings. This is bragging rights. I'm going to call my mom after this.
We'll connect. I'll hook you up. All right. So God spoke to you, told you needed to start this.
Yeah.
All right. Who, besides you, who do you know of was the first one to listen to it? And what did they say?
I know my dad did not listen for a long time. He's like, it's too long.
It's too long?
I don't listen to things for an hour. I lived with this girl, and she was very new age. I don't think she would call herself that, but she was definitely atheist. And she was my best friend. We've kind of drifted now that she's left Hawaii, but she was not Christian, and she would listen. And she would tell me about it, and she was open-minded, and it was so amazing. Because honestly, I thought I would lose friends, and yet my friends, like, God changed the heart of my friends. All my friends are atheists, and, lukewarm Christian maybe, goes to church.
Yeah.
But they all were so supportive. So other than my mom and my family, maybe like my godmother, but like my friends, they were so supportive.
Your dad still hasn't listened?
I don't know.
All right, so
no, he definitely has. He for sure has.
I was going to say, tell your father this. Tell him the big difference between, say, a podcast and a radio show or whatever. A podcast has something that radio doesn't have.
Me.
If he thinks it's too long, well, that too. But if he thinks it's too long, he can hit the pause button.
Exactly.
And come back and finish listening to it later.
No, you know what I did is my dad's Orthodox, so I brought in an Orthodox priest, and then my dad was all about the podcast.
Wait, what? Wow.
Yeah. Well, it was my aunt, so his sister goes to an Orthodox church, and she's like, you've got to talk to my priest. He's really cool. He's a bodybuilder. And Father Michael Butler is the coolest of the cool.
All right, so crazy question. Have you talked to your father and about him coming on the podcast?
Why? My dad's not a theologian. Wait, you want me to interview my father?
Yeah, why not?
Well, because he's not a PhD or a theologian.
I know, but to see if he learned anything. while listening to your podcast.
That's just a dinner conversation between my dad. Honestly, that would be so nice. It's funny because my mom's Protestant and my dad is Orthodox. So we start getting into religion and it's just a fight. It's really fun.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'll record that.
It's really fun.
Real problematic.
Well, I mean, because all you're doing is talking to experts at this time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I would think eventually, depending on how long you want to keep the podcast going, eventually you may run out of experts to talk to.
I'm going to talk to every single one until I get to West Huff.
But then I would just go ahead and talk. I found this to be fun. Talking, especially to your listeners, to see what they've gotten from it.
Well, I think you're just thinking like iterations that this could become. Like, I would love to build a community. I have a private WhatsApp community right now. And like, I would love to build something where like people like me access scholars. Like, I think that's the next iteration. But like, you're right. I will run out of content. Content will have to evolve at some point.
Wait a minute. You have a community on what?
I've got a private community on WhatsApp. And it's just like a group of Christians in a group chat that can pray and support each other.
Okay, now I taught you something in the beginning, and now you're teaching me something. How in the world do you create a community on WhatsApp?
Well, I tried doing it on school. I did all the paid versions, and nobody wanted that. You know, where you like, you build those communities, you teach courses, you charge people money. I was like, okay, I'll do that. Did not work. I spent so much money and it did not work. And then I was like, I went to a networking group, and they were like, if you want to do something, do it free. And then evolve it into paid. I was like, they're like, you want to build a community, just make a group chat on WhatsApp. Everybody that follows you is global. It has to be WhatsApp. And so now I created it, and I created a female version. So you could talk about like female issues or like female prayer requests. But honestly, I never even comment because the community has taken on a heart of its own. And the people, I just every single week on social media, I'm like, hey, there's a private community. If you want to join, here's the link on my social media story. People join, people leave, people stay, they post prayer requests, they post links, they post devotionals. My assistant, she lives in the Philippines. She's like, there's a tsunami, people pray for her. Someone's going through a divorce, people pray for them. I comment and they're like, who? Hey, welcome. I was like, this is my group. Like, people are like, own it. Like, it is owned by the members at this point.
I only use WhatsApp to call my best friend in Italy. That's it. I didn't know you could do all that.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So when you're home class,
that was like, that's an easy way to have a community, I think. And like, yeah, it's special to have that. But I think like, I don't know, content wise, I would love to do Diary of a CEO style where he has multiple experts on one topic.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to like talk about dinosaurs, but have the multiple people that I've had talk about it, or, open theism and like freedom and free will and free choice, have multiple, people to talk on that. And honestly, I think as hosts, you understand why people don't do that is because you want each person to talk a lot, but you have to cut off people. And that would be difficult, especially remotely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm going to have to look into this.
Yeah. I just interviewed 2 people a couple weeks ago, and I very quickly, when you ask a question, you have to say, Rich question. And then, or because if you just ask a question, nobody's going to talk. They're going to wait for the other person. So having multiple people on it is a little different than just a one-on-one.
Well, but yeah. Okay. I'm still going to have to try it out and play with it now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I want to get back to the podcast here because you just blew me away there. So you said that
not 5% podcast right there.
So, all right. You said for more than 20 years you felt lost reading scripture, right? So, which is kind of weird since you're only 25.
Girl, what?
Yeah, but all right. What did that struggle look like on a day-to-day basis?
So I come from a Christian family, and I think that you're raised going to church, and then you say prayers at every meal at night. We were like the Christian family too. Like we had a lot of rules based on our faith. And so you kind of feel like a performer at some point because you're like, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do. And you're like, okay, time to read my Bible because that's what they say. Read your Bible every day. And you're like, okay, so we'll start here. and you do that flipping open and you're like, God wanted me to read that, but you have no idea what you're reading. You're like, okay, that was I have no context. No one's explaining this context. Like if I, like today, I don't say I'm expect, let's say, okay, I just opened up to Joel. I don't know. Actually, I love Joel, but okay, Joel 2:12, even now declares the Lord, return to me. Oh, that's actually crazy. We opened up this verse. Oh my gosh, it's happening. I love this verse so much. Even now declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart, with fasting and weeping in the morning. I have a lot of history with that verse. But if I was when I was a Sunday school Christian, I would have been like, okay, so God's clearly calling me to repentance. I wouldn't know anything about Joel. I wouldn't understand the history of Christianity. What was going on when this book was written? Who is Joel? Who is he talking to? Those are the questions that I had, and I never got answered. And it's not like my parents knew. Like I said, my parents aren't theologians. Nobody in my family is in any of that, like theology. And so I was like, okay with sin because the word couldn't reach me. I had so much logic, and yes, the Holy Spirit is a moving spirit, but I think the Holy Spirit took me on a journey that was this confusion. It included this confusion because it brought me to this podcast, and I didn't get these answers in church. It's not like you could raise your hand and be like, hey, back it up. Can we go over the context of Joel, historically speaking? What was going on geopolitically? And like, where were they in the world going on? What was the context of like, who is Joel talking? And so when I was 23, I was in Thailand and I was like out of college in my first job, deciding who I wanted to be as a woman. And I knew I wanted to be a Christian woman like my mother. And I was like partying it up. I had no qualms with my sin. I had no conviction about it. And I love doing, like, I've done all the things. And so I was like, I am nowhere near a godly woman, but like, I want that. So like, how do I love a God I don't know? And how do I get to know that God? And
so you felt disconnected from God.
It was a stranger to me. Like it was a God, and then there's me. And I like couldn't talk about God without crying. Because I was like, that entity is so far from me and I'm so undeserving of this love. How could I possibly feel connected to him?
Right.
Like I felt so undeserving, really. And so I just kind of got honest. I feel like the humility was like the key that unlocked my faith, where I was like, God, I would know you. I would love you if I knew you. And I would want to obey you if I knew you. But I don't know you and I don't know how to know you. So if only there was a podcast where a really smart person that knew theology and context could answer a really funny person's questions. And it wasn't a sermon and it wasn't a come to Jesus altar. It wasn't academics. It was like a conversation. Surely that exists. It's not a crazy idea. Couldn't find it for 5 years. 5 years.
Really?
5 years. I'm watching YouTube. I'm joining these Bible studies. I'm going through podcasts, and God is like slowly molding my heart. He's introducing these books into my life. He's introducing me to these prayer warriors. I'm like on fire for God all of a sudden. And I remember I like knew I was changing because I was going through a breakup, and we broke up. I go through this change. I reconnect with the person, and I'm like, he's like, what are you up to? And I'm like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Like, what about Buddhism? What about this? And I was like, oh, we're different now. And so I knew that I was changing. And then I had this vision. And so when I got out to Hawaii, I was like, Shirley, where is this thing? And I brought it to my sister, and she was like, Cass, I think you're the one that's supposed to do this. Cause like you haven't found it because it's supposed to come from you. And I was like, me? Like, you saw me in college? All the things. You want me to start a Christian podcast? I'm like the least Christian person ever. And then, the rest is history. But like, that's where the confusion is. It's like, and I know out to my pastor, I was like, hey, love your service. Before we go into John, can you like do a little 5-minute on who is John? Where is John? How old is John? What is he doing? Smart, if he lived today? And she's like, no, that's not my job.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not her job, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't know that at the time, but her job is to lead me. Her job is to know what she was taught, which is mostly New Testament. And I'm asking for a lot of eisegetical, practical theology, connecting it to Old Testament. And like, she was never taught that, nor is that her job. And so she was like, hey, it sounds like you have a level that deserves seminary. And I was like, I'm not going to seminary. She's like, well, join the Bible study. And I'm like, I am in the Bible study. Like, I just want.
But they weren't teaching that.
To me, Bible studies are crazy. Like, Bible studies are community. They are not studying the Bible because no one is qualified to help you study the Bible. Like, unless, I mean, again, another iteration of content, I would love to have a scholar lead a Bible study. I'm trying to build a devotional right now where it's like, hey, the bleeding woman is actually referencing Jewish cleanliness laws. Where is that stated in the Bible? Like, I've had to talk to scholars about that because I didn't know Jewish cleanliness laws.
Wow. All right. So where are you finding these scholars to talk to? Because I knew they're
Holy
not
Spirit, that's far jar. I don't know. They're like falling from the sky.
I was going to say, because I knew you're not going to be finding a lot of them on Podmatch.
No, definitely not Podmatch. But Podmatch is to get you on podcasts. Like, this is Podmatch.
Yeah.
Me getting out there, which is just another level of marketing. But honestly, it's not that hard. If you email, like, how did I get started? I don't
know. I'm asking you that.
I had no idea. And then, by the grace of God, I'd like, one of the things God's like, you should do this. And I was like, I don't have anybody to interview. Like, all I have is my questions. That's all I had. I didn't have a mic. I didn't have software. All I had was my questions. And I was dating this guy at the time, and he was being a good boyfriend. He was bragging about his girlfriend starting a podcast because he took people on tours, to Hawaii. All we do is go on hikes. And the people he took on hikes, he was bragging about me, and they were like, oh, we're theologians. Like, we have tons of people that'd be willing to come on her show. And so that I just like called them, and I was like, oh, how does this work? And they're like, I don't know if I can answer your questions because I'm like philosophical and this level of theology, but my friend can. He can actually tell you all about demons. You should talk to him.
Ooh.
So I called a strange man, Christopher Carr. And I'm like, I heard that you know demons. And he was the coolest guy. He was my first episode. And I was like, he's like, I could tell you about demons. And he's like, we can talk about Luke and Mark and Legion. And I was like, okay. And so then we just had this amazing conversation where I was like, okay, so what's going on with Legion? And I'll never forget this conversation. I learned so much, and it was our first episode. And then at the end, I was like, do you want to come back and talk about angels? And he's like, yeah. And then I just kept asking, like, well, who else do you recommend? And then I would go to, Wheaton College academic like list of teachers, and I would just email every single person on that list. And then I found Reasons to Believe, which is like the coolest thing ever. It's like scientists that believe in God, and it's a whole network of them. And I just bothered them until they would share their emails with me. And then I found Hugh Ross, the astrophysicist. Saw him on Instagram. I was like, that's a perfect guess. Looked him up. He was on Kauai the next weekend. I flew to Kauai. I cornered him at a church service, and I was like, please come on my show. And he's like, yeah, 1,000%. And then he recommended all of his scholars, and like Dr. Mark Clark came on, and like an astronaut came on. And then I saw Is Genesis History on Amazon Prime, which is a crazy documentary of like scientists talking about like Genesis and like what does rock formations talk about Noah's flood. And I just emailed every single person on that list. And now it's easy. I mean, it got to a point in my first year where I ran out of guests, and I was like, okay, that was a good run, but we're done. Like, I'm not going to do this solo. I don't have, like, this isn't the show anymore if it's just me. And then this guy from India emails me, and he's like, please let me work for you. I've done a similar show like you. I know what you're doing. I'll work for you. Here's the people I've interviewed. And I was like, I cannot pay you because I do not make money, but send me your list of people that you've interviewed. And he sent me like 12 people. And then it helped me keep the show on for 6 more months. And now that just keeps happening. Like, I keep getting guests, and now I'm booked out the rest of the year. That's amazing. It's insane. It's insane. It's almost as insane. It's more insane than the 5%. Like, it's like, what is God doing? Like, this is too successful to come from my brain. None of this is by my own doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I think of that song, who sang it? Carrie Underwood, Jesus Take the Wheel. God took the wheel. He is driving, leading you to all these fantastic guests.
Yeah, and I don't know
especially for somebody that just started a podcast.
Especially for an idiot like you.
No, I did not say that. But no, seriously, a lot of people, when they first start a podcast, especially today, because like I said, there's almost 4 million podcasts out there. It's hard to try to get some of these big names on, and you had some big names on there.
I did have some big names. That is crazy. Yeah. Cause I mean, I could go on and on about how I got like Lee Strobel. How did I get Frank Turek? How did I get Coach Dungy? Like, all God, it's insane. Like Coach Dungy, I don't know anything about football.
Have you reached out
an
to
NFL coach
Tim?
on my podcast, and I don't know anything about football?
Well, now you mentioned Tony Dungy. Have you thought about Tim Tebow?
Wes Huff, Tim Tebow. That would be so cool. That'd be so cool. It's one of those. It's a weird niche. Like, who are the gods? You know? Who would be ideal?
And your show's only an hour long.
Only an hour. I appreciate you saying that. Only an hour.
No, seriously, because I mean, if I sat down to talk with some of those people,
really,
I could be talking for hours. Oh God, yeah,
really,
yeah. I mean, I gotta admit, because I mean, my longest episode was 2.5 hours, and it took me a while to learn to cut it down to an hour or less.
Mm-hmm.
And because you just get so wrapped up in the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've got like a pretty strict schedule. I like structure mine, like I'm following notes. But like tonight, I'm interviewing Dr. James Sedlicek again, and that man and I could talk for 4 hours. But I'm like, from a content perspective, this is going to suck. We have to cut it down at 2. But like, that's somebody that will just go and go and go.
Well, that's just 4 episodes then.
That's the point. Hold on a second. Now you're thinking
that just means your father has to hit pause several times.
My dad would not listen to that. He likes the Orthodox ones, and there's many of those. Those are good.
It's just amazing because, first of all, congratulations, because a lot of people, and I see it all the time. I get people that are starting podcasts. I've had people contact me because they want to start a podcast, and I always give them the cons before the pros.
What are the cons? The hard work, the hours, the editing.
Oh, the hard work, the editing, I always tell people, I think where a lot of people mess up, they keep looking at the downloads, ignore the downloads.
Oh yeah. No,
downloads don't equal listens.
If you're podcasting, you're winning. Like the goal is, if you're podcasting, you're winning. Like the goal is to podcast.
Ooh,
like the goal is to do what we're doing. We're already winning. We've done it. Like you can't say until I reach 5K, until I reach 500K, until I reach 5 million. Like we're doing the damn thing. Now we were explicit. Like this is. Sorry, just knocked out 50 countries from hearing this episode.
You're fine.
But like this is the goal. We're doing it. We've already reached the goal.
Yeah, you just gave me an idea though.
What?
Where you said podcasting a wedding?
Oh, I just saw that though. There was a podcast at a wedding, and it was like to interview guests at the wedding, so the couple could like see memories of like talking story.
See, my son and I retired a few years ago from DJing weddings.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, it can be a headache too. But I never thought about that. Podcasting a wedding. That could be interesting.
Honestly, yeah, that makes sense for DJing and podcasting. This is.
Oh no, I want to combine the two.
Well, I mean, you have a history of weddings. You already have a skill.
Oh yeah.
You already have a contact list. You have a skill.
And you've actually seen somebody do that.
I just saw that actually very recently on social media. So I haven't seen it in person, but it's like I feel like it'd be very awkward to pitch, but the guys have a back room with the whole podcast studio, and then they bring guests back. And they have it on, like, they record it video. And so then the couple can watch their friends be like, how'd you meet the couple? What's your best story? I mean,
that could be scary too.
It's like a confessional.
Yes, exactly.
Which is cool.
I don't know about that. I mean, you may get some scary stories that the bride would be like, yeah, be like, wait a minute, you did what with what?
Might break up the wedding after that.
Yeah. It's like, no, forget it. You mentioned something earlier. You said when you moved to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So where were you from?
Ohio.
Oh, come on.
We were talking about food. I'm like, Skyline.
Do what?
You're talking about food in every state. You've got to try the cuisine of everywhere you go. And I was like, I wonder if he's tried Skyline chili.
No. What part of Ohio, though?
Cincinnati.
Oh, Bengals. Okay, sorry. My father was from Cleveland.
Disappointment in your voice.
All right, so what brought you out to Ohio? What brought you out to Hawaii? And don't you dare say a plane.
No, I've lived everywhere. I've lived all over the world. Ohio was just my
wow.
childhood. And then I moved to California. I lived in Thailand. I lived in Colombia. I lived in Arizona. And then I just recently moved here 3 years ago. So it's just, I'm a traveler. I just find work all over the world.
Ooh. Have you thought about, well, probably not yet because you've only done a little over 100 episodes, but it could be fun. I know you record virtually with a lot of people, but have you thought about taking it on the road?
To do what?
To record with some of these scholars and all.
Well, that costs money, Rich.
All right, we're going. All right, so
sponsors aren't here yet.
Cass, we'll talk about that when we're finished. Okay.
Oh, okay. You writing checks right now?
No. I'll tell you how to monetize your podcast. I was monetizing my podcast before I recorded the first episode.
What the heck, Rich? Why didn't we talk in April?
It's not as hard as you think.
Really? Because I have been in the struggle bus for a year and a half.
All right,
I have many ideas right now, but that's like a last 4 weeks update.
All right, so let me ask you this then. What have you been trying to monetize your podcast?
Everything. Digital assets, subscription model, courses, paying for my time, donations. I've tried to do the sponsorships, like reaching out to brands. And now I've just settled on.
When you say reaching out to brands, what type of brands?
Like Christian brands. I've done both. I've done like the brands that
national?
Yeah, mostly national.
Okay.
But like Christian brands, like a devotional company just doesn't have a lot of digital spend. And then I just don't have the time or repetition to like get a brand. I don't know. Like if I wanted like Beats headphones to sponsor me, like, I don't know. I like it is a headache. And so I have something else. Like I just signed my first publishing contract for a devotional. And so I'm going to make a devotional, which is so exciting.
Ooh, who's that with?
With Made for Success Publishing.
Oh, awesome.
Congratulations. I know. Thank you. So I'm going to make a devotional, and I feel like that will be like a part of the ownership. And I hope to make an app one day, but I feel like we're probably like a year out from that. And I'm marketing the books. It makes sense that somebody who's publishing a Christian books needs a Christian influencer. So I'm promoting a couple of the authors, and like that's what makes sense. So if there's like a turnkey way to monetize, I haven't found it. I've had to be very creative. And I'm okay. Sorry.
Are you a member of your local chamber of commerce?
No.
All right, Cass, we'll talk after we're finished recording.
Okay.
I'll give you my secrets. I can't give them to everybody listening.
Amazing. I can't wait.
Seriously, it's not that hard. I think what happens with a lot of podcasters when they
listening are salivating, Rich.
Well, here's what happens. A lot of podcasters, when they go to monetize, I think they're thrown off by a lot of other podcasters because they're told you need to have so many downloads first.
That is correct.
Which is wrong. You don't need to have so many downloads first.
I have met with podcasting agencies, and they're like, you need at least 1,500, 1,000 downloads per episode.
Yeah.
I have 800.
Nope. You know how many you need? You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. If you're in Maryland and thinking about real estate, you've got to check out Daniel McGee and the Victory Team. A close friend of mine sold their house with them, and honestly, I was blown away by the smoothness of the process and the level of care they received. And it's not just them. Several others in my circle have had similar experiences. Daniel and his team have this personal touch that's just so rare these days. They actually listen and tailor their services to fit exactly what you need. And with fees way lower than the industry standard, you really feel like you're getting luxury service without that hefty price tag. So whether you're buying or selling, go to victoryteamsells.com and get started with Daniel McGee and his incredible team. Believe me, with them, it's not just a transaction, it's a relationship.
1?
0.
Rich.
I'm serious.
We got to end the call right now. Actually, thank you so much for listening to me. We have to talk. This is crazy.
It is. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I've had sponsors before I recorded the first episode, and I've always had sponsors, still do to this day.
And they're not
still
affiliates.
Keep adding more. Huh?
They're not affiliates.
They're businesses.
Like, you're not an affiliate of the business. They're actually paying you for a host read ad.
Yeah.
Are you only doing host read ads?
Yeah.
You're not doing, because I have a newsletter. I'm like offering.
I do. No, I for the podcast, I'm only doing host read ads, and I list all my sponsors on the website.
Oh, okay.
Now, some people also, because of the hosting platform I'm using, I can put in what's called dynamic ads. So I can also create ads and put it in the beginning, the end, or the middle. My host read ads stay with the episode forever.
In perpetuity, because you manually input them.
It's baked in. Yeah. So, we'll definitely talk. So what's your next big thing for the podcast besides monetizing it, which I'll teach you how to do that when we're finished.
Yeah. Wow. Big day. Big day with Rich. I would definitely say the devotional. That to me is like a huge thing. I met with my publisher yesterday. He's like, okay, so by next week, let's write the first couple chapters. I'm like, I thought I was paying you to write. I'm writing a book apparently, and it'll be fine. It'll be like my top 10 episodes. I'm just kind of reusing the script, the transcript, and then creating a devotional that I've always wanted. Like, kind of my qualms with Bible study of like, so girl who is 2 years older than me is leading me in Bible study, or I'd go to Bible study and be like, how was your week? Which is cool. I think Bible studies serve some purposes, community, support, prayer. I wanted to study the Bible. Forgive me for reading too clearly, but like, we're Bible studying. And it's just like, I've never met a Bible study teacher or leader who could take me exegetically where I wanted to go. And so I want to build the devotional that creates that structure, because I have the transcripts. Like, I already have the content. I just have to be the person that organizes it.
Wow. I could see this is just going to be.
I hope. It'll be an audio.
I'm saying within a year, you're going to be in the top 1%.
That'd be crazy.
If you keep it going the way you're doing, I can see it being in the top 1%, maybe even the top half.
That'd be so crazy. Oh my gosh. I mean,
you're doing good. The thing is, you have a passion for it.
Yeah. I mean,
and
God's put this in my life.
The greatest person driving.
Yeah, I really do.
You can't have anybody better than God driving that for you. All right, with all the different guests you've spoken with so far on the show, is there one particular one that really had a big impact on you and just really like opened up your eyes and your heart even more?
That's a good question. I think there's that's a hard question, because I feel like there are episodes, like a single episode that I think about forever, but then there's conversations that led to more episodes, and now it's like, oh, this whole concept has changed my life, like the concept of blood or the concept of the unseen realm. But honestly, I always go back to the bleeding woman. I think that was a perfect episode. And Dr. James Sedlicek, I love him because he is one of the smartest people I've ever met. He came on and he's like, let's talk about the bleeding woman. And I was like, it's like 2 lines. It's like 2 lines. What are we going to talk about for an hour? And that was one of those episodes that were like 3 hours long. Like, I had to cut content out.
Wow.
And it was a perfect episode because he added so much context of what was going on that isn't said in those 2 verses, of like her cleanliness laws, what that means that she was bleeding, how society treated her, and like why there was a blue cord in like the corner of his cloak, like where was that originated from and why is it relevant? Well, it goes back to the Old Testament, and like, well, why was it placed in the Old Testament? The reasoning with Moses, and then like, what did the bleeding woman think about? Like, what did she know as a Jewish woman when she reached out to touch Jesus? Like, the question was, she had faith, but what did she have faith in? And I thought that's a weird question. Like, she has faith in Jesus, that he's going to heal her. And he's like, but she needs a basis for her faith. So like, what knowledge made her have faith? She was a Jewish woman. She knew Torah. She knew the references to a healer in, I think it's Micah. She knew about Ruth and spread your kanaf over me, that covenant with the Christ Redeemer. And she knew about the covenant that God made with Moses of like, you stiff-necked people, to know and remember and obey my laws, put a blue cord in the corner of your cloak. And so when she touched him, not only was Jesus making her whole, he was unaffected by her uncleanliness. And so I feel like it was this beautiful, like, that's the power of knowing, like, I am a woman, like that's the power of knowing God and like knowing your Bible, because you can act in faith. And I think it was like, well, how do I live a Christian life? I know my Bible. Like, how did she get healed? She knew her Torah. And then you like keep going, like Jesus just came from healing a demon. He cleansed that. He was, he healed the bleeding woman. She bled for 12 years. He goes and raises a 12-year-old from life. The entire life of that girl he just raised from the dead, that woman was bleeding for. He restores both. Like, that's where you get into like the preachingness of it. Right. But like that to me was like, yeah, that and like probably the demonic episode, like episode number 1. To me, there were so many levels because I had that conversation with Dr. Carr. And then I had another conversation about Legion with Dr. Sedlicek, again, like hit every time with him. And now that entire like Legion story blows my mind because like there's so much richness there. And it's like, I can nerd out about the Bible because it's like what a good person does. We could talk about the Bible all day because that's like what a good person does. But then you like learn these things in the layers of the faith and like, oh, there's so much more going on. You're like, wait, this is a dope thing to believe in. This is just like objectively so cool to be a part of. Yes, it means I'm a good person, I guess. I don't think I'm a good person. I think I'm a pretty wretched person that is unbelievably loved by God. Like I have so much grace for me with how horrible I treat God and idolize myself and, all the things. But when you learn about our faith, it is objectively so dope, so cool, and so interesting. And it's like, what else is possibly more important for my time to be spent studying anything else but this?
Yeah. All right. So first of all, I got to tell you this because you said you didn't think you'd be able to talk that long about 2 lines, about the bleeding woman. And he came on and told you that. That's what he wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And now be honest, if he would have came and that was the first time you talked to him?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's say it's the first time and you get an email from him and he says that's what he wants to talk about, those 2 lines. Would you have responded back and say, well, no, maybe not because you didn't think it would last long?
No, I always get on a phone call and we plan out the entire episode before.
Okay. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of podcasters, unfortunately, they would think, oh, wait a minute, 2 lines. What's this going to be? Like a 10-minute talk? It ain't going to last long. And they wouldn't respond back. They would just ignore it or whatever, which is wrong because you never know what that can lead to. One word, just one word. If you go deep in the meaning, can become an hour-long episode or even more. Yeah. Well, prime example, God.
Yeah.
But no, I got to congratulate you on that because that is awesome. Since you started the podcast, has your faith really changed a lot?
I hope so. I think I feel like I approach this from a very like data centric, like I just need more data. And the more data I have, the more faith I'll have. And I think there is like, I have more facts in my tool belt that I can be like, yeah, well, because of these 3 things, like of course I believe in God more, but I think there is something with my soul and my spirit happening. I do think that my conviction, my sensitivity to the spirit increases. And so things that I wouldn't pray for or think to pray for, now I do simply because like I think about it more and I feel like the Holy Spirit, I don't think dwells more, but I have a bit more conviction about things. And, I feel like I'm more receptive to the spirit and that changes your life, having God, noticing God, like that's on me to seek him and he's always been there. But I mean, I think my life has significantly changed now that I like focus on him rather than myself. And when I started the podcast, I didn't need God. I had a good job. I had good friends. I was successful. I had good money. And then I lost.
You're in the tech field, right?
I was in tech. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was my dream company. And then I lost all that. And I was like, well, God, I have a Christian podcast. Why would you take this from me? And like, he like broke my legs. Like, that's like the only way I could, like, God broke my legs because, so I had to depend on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through like months of depending on him and like begging him for peace of mind. Like, I would wake up and immediately be attacked with like, you're a failure. You're not enough. You'll never achieve anything. And I would just be like, I just woke up. Like, God, I need you right now.
Okay. So now you're not in the tech field. You're doing the podcast. Are you actually working? You got to have income coming somewhere, right?
I have a 9 to 5. Yeah. I work for iHeartRadio.
Okay. All right. So something tells me that this is going to become your full-time job.
I hope so. I really do.
It will be.
It will be.
It will be. I guarantee you. It will be. Yeah, absolutely. It's my full-time job, so it's going to be your full-time job.
It is? It's your full-time job? You make a living off of this?
Why do you sound surprised?
More money. It is rare that I meet a podcaster that gets to do it full-time.
So here's how so back in 2012, I left radio and I started a good news website.
It's a great basis. I'm in radio. It's a great basis.
You're doing.
I work for
radio. Oh, you do?
I work in broadcasting.
Are you a broadcaster? Are you on air?
I'm trying to be. I think that's like the next step. I have a very supportive president, so I'd probably get like the 12 to 2 hour, you know?
Okay. That's when I started, that's I was on air and I didn't like it.
I'm in sales, so I'm mostly selling airtime.
I loved sales.
Really?
Oh my.
It's
huh?
I like it. It's fun. It's a really creative job.
Oh, cast. Oh, we're going to have a good talk when we're finished here. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh my God.
I think things happen for a reason. And I think
well, the next big thing in my life is meeting you, apparently.
And
God's driving.
You said devotionals, you're going to be writing devotionals, but have you actually written a book yet about your journey itself?
No, I have written a children's book though.
Oh, come on.
I have.
Really?
It's called Fraser the Fir.
It's called Fraser the Fir, about a tree.
About a tree understanding the meaning of Christmas. It's a very good book and it's on Amazon.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah. I wrote that during COVID.
Oh, Cass.
It's a really good book. My friend illustrated it.
Cass. Christmas time, you have to fly out to Maryland and read it for the kids that I play Santa for.
No way. Oh my gosh. I'll send you one. I'll send you one of the books. That's great.
I actually, so the one place I put where I do Santa professionally, it's 4 nights and I bring in children's authors.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I had this friend of mine, young lady on, and it's funny. She had Michelle Love. Michelle, yes, I'm dropping your name again. She had a restaurant, awesome food. She closed down the restaurant because God told her to write a book. She didn't know how to write a book.
Crazy gamble.
So she wrote a book about, it was her recipes from the restaurant, but the meaning behind the recipes.
Oh, that's so cool.
And she came on and she talked about it, and just all kinds of amazing things happened during that episode. But then it was later on, I asked her, I said, hey, Michelle, crazy question. I said, you think you could write a children's book in time for Christmas? I think this was like September or whatever. She said, if God wants me to, I will. And she, within like a couple weeks, emailed me, asked me my thoughts. She had already written something. And I was like, this is perfect because it has nothing to do with Santa. It's the true meaning of Christmas.
Oh my gosh, you're going to love my book then.
And she got it done in time and came and read it. And it's like, and now she's written, I think, 4 books maybe now.
Okay. 3
or 4 books. But so you got to put is your book on, the book's not on your website though.
No.
Is it?
No.
Why not?
I don't know, because it's not biblically speaking affiliated. It's like just something I did.
So put it on there.
Okay. Where would I put it? Like on the front page of like, hey, here's biblically speaking, and I wrote a book.
Create a page called books. Put it on there, because what you can also do, I believe Tony Dungy has a book as well, right?
Probably.
I'm sure a lot of people you talk to have books. You could become an Amazon affiliate and put affiliate links on there for some of your guest books.
Gosh, You were
just,
cooking
I
there.
mean, easy way to, I mean, it's not a lot of money you'll raise, but still, because they always say, if you ever want to become an author to become rich, don't become an author.
Yeah.
So,
I'm still trying to pay myself back from my book.
becoming an authorpreneur is hard.
Well, becoming an author is just hard work. Like so many steps to becoming an author.
Oh, that's another story. I will talk to that later. But all right. So with the podcast, have I blown you away so far today with just certain things about your podcast?
Recording, right?
No, we're still recording.
I can't wait to share this episode with everybody. It's like,
all right, so this is what I wanted to ask you. Now I remembered because I've had, like I said, I've had Michelle Love on. I've had several other people on talking about religion and everything. And I've been wanting to do an episode on this, but I don't think I've ever asked a guest the question. So I'm going to ask you the question, especially because of your journey, all the different people you've been talking to. And I want my listeners to pay very, very, very close attention to this question. It's a 2-part question. How do you talk to God? And how do you listen to God?
I didn't know. And then my boss taught me. And I was at work at iHeartRadio and walked into the president's office and I was like, I'm really struggling with something personal and I don't know what to do. And he's like, okay, well, have you talked to God? I was like, I mean, like I'm praying about it, but like haven't heard an answer. And he's like, well, do you know how to hear God? I was like, sometimes when I get a lot of reminders, it feels like it's like confirmation. And then like in iHeartRadio office, me and the president prayed and he taught me how to hear. Like, how crazy is that sentence? Like I sat at a secular company and prayed with the president because he taught me. Like, he's like, and you know, Cass, I would have never done this if no one was here, but like, apparently no one's in the office today, so we could do this. Like, because he's a pastor.
Right. But, okay.
I think the interesting thing about talking to God and hearing God is like one thing. And I think we all know how to pray. I think we all know how to ask for what we want. And I think that maybe we could be more or less specific. And there's definitely, I think, an emphasis on being very specific on what you talk to God about. Mm-hmm. And my question was, God, what do you want me to do with this podcast? Because you're clearly in control, but like, I don't know which way to go. I have a couple options ahead of me. What do you want me to do with this podcast? And then we sat in silence. And he's like, any inclination that you have, a weird idea, a sudden urge, a desire, something you feel passionate about, go with that. And I was like, okay, well, like nothing's coming up yet, to be honest. And mostly because I feel weird that I'm in front of my president. Like it's an insecurity thing. I'm like, I'll do this in my private time. Thank you for showing me. And he's like, okay, you will get a response and then go with it. And I thought that was so funny because I was like, I mean, I might get a response. And I think that like the part that I missed for the longest time was, no, part of this prayer is having faith in God. And when we look at the scriptures, see a God that wants us to have knowledge, wants us to have wisdom, and wants us to have clarity. So when I ask God, I will get a response. I have faith that God will get a response. I don't get the privilege anymore of saying I might get a response.
Right.
I will. So when he responds, act. And I think I missed that up until last week. Like that is a very recent thing.
Oh, wow. Wow. I do have to disagree with you at one point, though.
Okay.
I don't think everybody knows how to pray yet.
I think everyone knows how to close their eyes and talk in their head.
Yeah, but I don't think they actually know how to pray. I think, and this is what I mean by that, because you hear a lot of people say they're going to pray to God, and they only pray when they need something.
1,000%. And I'm one of them.
I pray all the time, every morning when I wake up, every night before I go to bed.
But when you say all the time, what does that mean? Like you are making your coffee praying. You are driving praying.
Oh, I will. Whenever I do that a lot.
You pray before every conversation, like to you.
Not before every conversation, but certain conversations I will.
It's hard to remind yourself to do it all the time because I think we all want to be praying all the time, but it's like I'm in the moment.
It used to be hard for me. But
How do you remember?
Because like today, when we're finished here, I will pray, but I'll pray to God and thank him. Because I think that's what a lot of people don't do. I think they're always asking for something. I do thank him a lot. I thank him all the time. And because of this, the connection here, and I think he's responsible for this in a way. And I will thank him for it. That's me. I just feel, yes, there are times when I ask, very rarely, but a lot of times, every night, I always thank him for something. Sometimes it may be the same thing. And then I also, whenever I wake up, I always say what I'm grateful for too. And I don't think people do that enough. Even just walking barefoot in the grass, feeling that, be grateful for that, because not everybody gets to feel grass under their feet. Certain little things.
Yeah.
Boy. Okay. I'm going deep now, aren't I?
I got a wave of emotion while you were talking. I was fighting tears. I don't know what's happening. It's like, you're talking about grass, and I'm like, yeah, that's right.
But and I never used to be that way. Never used to be. I was mad at God at one point because we lost our first daughter. And I was upset. And then it took me a minute. It's like, you know what? There's a reason this happened. And to this day, 25 years later, oh my God, 25 years later, I swear that she's sitting here. She's my guardian angel. And it's weird, but I don't want to say it's weird. I sense her at times. I sense my brother at times. I sense my parents at times. I sense my dog at times. The last dog I had. It's just, I feel like there's guardian angels everywhere around us. Yeah. And a lot of times it's the people we don't expect, or even animals that we wouldn't expect. They're looking out for us. And I think that's God talking to us in a way as well.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow. Okay. So, Cass, sorry about all that. This is supposed to be your show, not mine. It's just my name.
Yeah,
I'm rambling on.
We're both just really good at listening, being podcasters. That's the thing. Like, that's the soft skill. It's like I could just shut up and just let you talk. That's what I do. I just let people talk.
Something very important. Tell everybody the website so they can go listen to the podcast and eventually buy your children's book once you get it up there.
Exactly. I'm going to email my web guy right now. It's bibspeak.com, BIBSPEAK.com, because Biblically Speaking was taken. So go to bibspeak.com or just type in Biblically Speaking podcast, and I'm sure it'll come up. I hope my SEO is well, but that's going to be everything. Like, that's going to be everywhere that the podcast is hosted, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. It's also going to be all the guests. We've talked about a couple, but you should go check out my guest list and see who Dr. James Sedlicek is. But you'll see a couple on there that you might recognize. It'll have all my social media, and that's kind of where I'll probably, put the devotional, put the children's book, put some of the ways to partner if you want. There's definitely a partnership page. But honestly, social media is probably the easiest way. I try to create clips from each week's episode because it comes out every Tuesday, 3 weeks out of each month. And, it's kind of like last week I had Dr. Kevin Grasso on, the CEO of Biblingo, and we understood Isaiah 53 line by line in original translations. And so I take clips from that and I put on social media each week. Follow me, engage. You can DM me. Like, there's not a social media manager. And then, I would check out the podcast. I would definitely and it's like, where do I start? Like, I don't know. Start with number 1. I love number 1.
Yes.
Episode number 1 was great. And then I try to make the topics pretty obvious, but there's divorce in there. There's demons in there. There's giants in there. There's dinosaurs in there. And there's like super esoterical understandings, like the history of Judaism to Christianity and like the Orthodox versus Catholicism. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I can't remember every single guest. And I used to be able to, because it's just, it's too much, you're like, do you listen? And I'm like, I have to, or else I don't learn either. And then
you have to when you edit it too.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't edit it?
I give that to my assistant. I hate editing.
Really?
It. It would take me 6 hours. 6 hours on a Sunday editing.
Oh no, it wouldn't.
It does. Yeah. For my podcast, it does.
For a 1 hour episode?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cutting clips at the same time. I had to do once video,
Oh,
once
plus
audio.
you're doing video.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
honestly, if you go to my website and you want to help, a donation each month, even $1 absolutely helps because that adds up. None of this is free. All of this is out of pocket. Or if you don't want to pay me, that's totally fine. I would say subscribe. I would say rate the show. Any engagement that helps boost the algorithm and that 5% that like people actually engage with it. So 2 options there. If you're going to listen, pay me with a like, please. I'm begging. Please. That's my marketing is begging.
Oh God, I love that.
Or just share it. Sharing's helpful, you know.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to add your podcast. I also start a podcast network, which I'm changing to help independent podcasters. So I'm gonna if you're okay, I'm gonna add you to the network. I don't charge the podcasters; it's free.
Please, thank you.
Oh, I will. Is there anything you would like to add before you pick the last question?
No, I'm good. I'm having fun. I have nothing to add. I am here and I'm podcasting. I've won.
All right. So we're going to see how good you are now.
Great.
Because it's funny. I have 100 different questions here, and all my guests, I want to say lately, some of them have not coincided with what we've been talking about. So I'm going to say maybe 95% of the questions, whichever one my guest picks, somehow or another coincides with what we've been talking about. So we're going to see. I need you to pick a number between 1 and 5.
4.
4. Why does everybody always go for 4? God. All right. Now I need you to pick a number between 61 and 80.
62.
62. Oh, come on. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I think I know what your answer is going to be. Okay. And all right, if you could have a 1-hour conversation with any historical figure, who would it be?
Do you think I'm going to say Jesus?
Oh, that would be a good one, though.
Oh, I think I'm going to say.
Wow. Okay. Oh, that
probably like Mother Mary.
That's not what what?
I would love to talk to Mary. I think that she's got a lot to say. You know, I would love to talk to Mary.
Ooh.
Which is like, I don't know. I feel like that's a basic answer of like, of course she picks a Jesus figure.
No, I was expecting you to say pick a figure from the Bible. But oh my God, that would be a good one.
Wait, I did pick a figure from the Bible.
I know.
I did exactly.
But I wasn't expecting. But I was not expecting Mary.
Who'd you expect?
I thought you were going to say God. To be honest with you,
for some reason, to be in the presence of God, I thought that was like not even an option.
Well, yeah, but
I would also love to talk to Noah or Jonah. Those would be sick. Or Job. I love those characters. I love the story of Jonah.
Noah could be a fun.
Jonah is one of my favorite episodes ever with Holy Ghost stories. I love.
Oh yeah, that could be good too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know.
That's hard to say when it comes to that. Wow. Yeah, that's a hard question. It's not a hard question. There's too many answers for it.
Yeah, I mean,
But you picked it.
I don't know, Bathsheba. I don't want to talk to her. Like, I have so many questions for her. Bathsheba, what's up? We had a couple of things. I'm going to have to listen back. We were going to talk about books, monetization, and what's the other thing?
Oh, you mean when we're finished?
Yeah.
Oh, let's wrap it up first. Okay. We already did. Cass, I want to thank you so much. And I just want to let you know, the door is open anytime you want to come back.
I would love to come back. Please have me back.
The door's open. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Amazing. Yes, let's do that.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks so much for having me, Rich. This was so much fun.
What I love about conversations like this is that they remind us we don't have to have all the answers before taking the first step. Cassie spent years searching for someone who could make Scripture easier to understand. When she couldn't find that person, she eventually realized God was calling her to become that person for others. She didn't start as a theologian or a biblical scholar. She started with questions, a willing heart, and the courage to say yes. There are so many takeaways from this conversation, not just about the Bible, but about faith itself. We talked about listening for God's direction, trusting in His timing, building a community that serves others, and remembering that success isn't always measured by numbers. Sometimes it's measured by the lives you touch, the conversations you start, and the obedience it takes to simply keep going. I also have to admit, I think Cassie and I may have ended up interviewing each other a little bit today. And honestly, those are usually the conversations I enjoy the most. We even managed to swap podcast ideas and monetization tips and somehow ended up talking about children's books, weddings, and WhatsApp communities. That's the beauty of a genuine conversation. You never know where it's going to lead. If today's episode encouraged you, challenged you, or simply made you think a little differently, I'd encourage you to check out Biblically Speaking and connect with Cassie. Whether you're someone who's studied the Bible for years or someone who's always felt intimidated by it, I think you'll find something that speaks to you. Until next time, I'm Rich Bennett. Thanks for listening, and remember, every great conversation starts with someone willing to listen and someone willing to share. Now it's your turn. Join the conversation by sharing this episode, leaving a comment, or reaching out to me directly. Take care, be kind to one another, and I'll talk with you again soon.